Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Today, we're crossing all the way over to Kebbi State to sort of hear from them. And one of the more important things, unfortunately, going on in Kebbi is the tussle, shall we say, the battle that they have with insecurity in that state. It's quite topical now. And to sort of tell us all about it, give us an insight into the challenges they are facing and how indeed they are coping, we have with us, we're happy to say, the Commissioner for Information and Culture in Kebbi State, Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed. A fine morning to you, Mr. Commissioner.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, it's our pleasure. Unfortunately, this is how, well, we probably slip in some other positive things about Kebbi as well. But the insecurity challenge, a news agency of Nigeria's survey recently says that up to 23 local governments across Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi have been battling insecurity. Okay. Staying with Kebbi now, how is it? Because we know that there was a time when you had to go as far as suspending mining in the communities that have mining. What's the progress report? How bad is it? Is it getting better?
Before I go into your question proper, I want to make clarification that the suspension of mining activities had nothing to do with insecurity. In any case, the issue of mining has been taking place for a very long time before the issue of insecurity reared its head. The government suspended mining activities on the basis of lack of proper registration,
yes,
lack of regulation, and that's just it. So it has nothing to do with insecurity.
Oh, it had nothing to do with insecurity. Oh, okay. All
nothing. Of course, we made reference to it as one of the reasons, but the most important reason is that government wants to regularize it in a way that it will benefit the government and the people directly.
Okay, because I know that you've said that you're not unmindful of the fact that mining is under the exclusive legislative list, but bearing in mind, looking at it and the impact it is having is why you were highly concerned.
Yeah.
But thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
On the issue of insecurity, I would like us to try to look at where we were yesterday,
okay,
in terms of banditry activity, and also I would like us to look at where we are today and where we are likely going to be tomorrow,
okay,
in view of the actions, pronouncements, and commitment the present administration in Kebbi State has shown so far. I want to make this clarification further again, that the preponderance of attacks from, as far as banditry is concerned in Kebbi State, is mostly, it used to be mostly a hit and run thing. Most of the bandits have cells, not in Kebbi mostly. They have cells in Niger State, they have cells in Zamfara State, they have cells in Sokoto State. And these are states that are bordering the part of Kebbi State where there are flashpoints of banditry activities. They come in, attack, and run away. When they packed the girls they did in Yahweh, that was what they did. They came all the way from bushes in Niger State into Kebbi State and abducted students. What I want us to understand now is that in the past, before this government came into office, I can agree with you that attacks were predominantly in Danko was a good part of Kebbi State. This is a very wide mass of land. And this is the local government that is bordering the three states I'm talking about: Niger, Zamfara, and Sokoto State. They used to come in, attack, and run away, and it became a source of worry for the government. But since this government came into office, our governor, Dr. Nasiru Idris Orangondu, had come up with quite a number of measures that have proved to be invaluable, that have proved to be good. And as a result of that, we have witnessed a tremendous reduction in the cases of attacks by these bandits. Mostly, what the governor did was he increased the level of synergy interfacing with security agencies. Just like in every state of the federation where there are banditry activities or criminal activities, you have the army, you have the police, you have the civil defense, you have the DSS, you have the vigilante groups, and in our case, you have hunters as well. This is the security architecture that is prevalent in the parts where we have these banditry activities in Kebbi State. I want to give you one small brief. We have at the moment about 8 locations where there are security deployments, permanent or semi-permanent security deployment. And this has resulted in minimizing greatly the activities and movement of bandits around Kebbi soil. These movements or these deployments came about. They were new to us because it has never happened before the coming of this administration. They were new and they were deliberate. The governor had gotten across to all the stakeholders in the security apparatus in Kebbi State and the nation at large, and all the advices and suggestions that came out of those interactions. He was able, regardless of the amount of money that was involved, regardless of the billions of dollars that would obviously be spent, he, regardless of that, took decisions that had proved to be very good, that have proved to change the narrative of response to insecurity activities in Kebbi State. One of them is that we have Danko Wasabu. I'm telling you about deployments. We have, of course, Danko Wasabu. We also have Augi, Mayama, we have Jega, Sulu, and 3 other locations that I wouldn't want to mention for obvious reasons. These deployments have changed the entire thing because lately, since this governor came into office, you will agree with me that we have no situation. In the past, our governor or government officials had to be discussing those flashpoints, condoling people, sending messages of assurances to people because of killings now and then. Now it's no longer the case. We obviously have pockets of progress here and there, but they are so minor that we, considering where we're coming from, we want to believe that these measures that have been taken are working, and because we are witnessing a reduction, inshallah, we'll get to that time when we deal with it sufficiently.
Okay, indeed. So, one of the practices that is going out of fashion is the whole matter of negotiating with these criminals. So that is entirely ruled out in Kebbi, no matter the challenges.
No, in Kebbi, we have never had reasons to negotiate with criminals. In fact, we detest it because in the long run, it has no useful purpose. We have never had history of negotiating with them. Rather than negotiating with them, we are coming up with measures to deal with them decisively. And these actions I have enumerated have completely resulted in dealing with them decisively. That is not to say we should throw away completely the option of talking, the option of negotiation, when it is absolutely the only option left. But since we have this option of dealing with them first, showing them our capacity to take the fight to them, showing them the ability, the resilience of our people, because I want to believe that, I want you to know that our people are the resilient type. When you go to the Zulu part of the state, you know the history of Zulu. They are warriors, they are courageous. That is the same story you have in the entire Kebbi landscape. We will not give in to their antics, we will not give in to their threats, we will not go down low to talk to them in order to, in any case, in Zamfara State and other states where the options of negotiations were agreed or were worked on, that did not stop them from completely coming back to wreak havoc on the people.
Okay.
So it's not an option for us.
Okay, so going forward, as you said, you'd like to sort of portion it into where we were yesterday, where we are now, and again, looking, ahead into the future, would you say the matter is then very much in hand as far as the citizens of Kebbi is concerned? The security...
Yes, well,
Please
go
continue.
ahead. Okay, one thing I should have spoken about before now is the issue of why we have this synergy with the security apparatus, which has resulted in the kind of effective developments that have been made in Kebbi State. We've had reasons to be able to provide all manner of assistance to our security personnel. Of course, as you know, it's the responsibility of the federal government to provide security at that level. But being a nominal chief security officer of the state, the governor has been up and doing, has reached out to. There are certain things that one cannot say, certain things because of obvious security implications. There are quite a number of measures that have been taken already by our government in conjunction with security agencies. But coming here to divulge them may, in the end, complicate matters for us. So, as a politician, it will look very, very inviting for me to beat our drums and begin to itemize what we have done in terms of ensuring security for our people. But as I said earlier, the implications are so high that it was not going to be worth it. Having said that, I would like also to make small effort to emphasize what the governor has, or the Kebbi State government has done in this regard. Okay. You see, in the case of security personnel, each security man that dies in service of protecting the people of Kebbi State in the fight against banditry, a large sum amount of money has been reserved for his family by the Kebbi State government. This we have 1.3 million naira for the family of any fallen soldier or any fallen security man for the family, for his own family. As soon as that happens, automatically this amount is taken to the family. We also have a policy of ensuring complete medication for those wounded in action. 100% Kebbi State government has taken the responsibility of treating any wounded personnel that has, in the course of a fight against banditry. In the case of retiring officers, any officer who is involved in this fight in Kebbi State that retires in service and he happens to be on the battlefield, the state government also has reserved a point of between 2 to 10 million naira, depending on circumstances, to that particular officer. I'm saying this, ordinarily I shouldn't be saying this because it's something that shouldn't be said for reasons that's known to all. But then, in order to push forward the effort the Kebbi State government has done, and the effort it's still making, it's important for our people to know part of the things we've been doing secretly that has proved to be critical in ensuring the security of lives and property in Kebbi State. I'm not saying completely that these actions have resulted in the total annihilation of insecurity. That is not possible. But we are somewhere where it was completely unpalatable for us. We are now in a situation where we're dealing with the situation very, very effectively. And we have projected that in the future, in the nearest future, the actions taken by the state government in conjunction with the security agencies, gallant security agencies, is going to take us to a situation where Kebbi State will be largely free from bandit attacks. Don't forget, as I've been saying all the time, Kebbi is, inshallah, going to experience a bumper harvest from the yield from the farms is going to be just normal. And this is because even from Zamfara, Niger, and Sokoto states, you have an influx of farmers and people because of attacks in those areas. They come into Kebbi, settle down, and continue to do their farming. This is the truth. What I would like journalists to do, honestly, I'm a journalist myself. I detest armchair journalism. I would rather have journalists coming to Kebbi State all these claims we are making, all these claims were projected. I would rather have journalists coming to go there themselves. I can help the team. Let's go and verify all these claims we are making. As I said earlier, I'm not saying it is completely uprooted, but we are in the course of doing that because of actions we have taken, and these actions are to us unique to us. And I would rather hope that journalists come around to verify the evidence we are making of having taken measures that are dealing with these problems of banditry. Don't forget, we have our own civilian JTF, Joint Task Force, as they used to have elsewhere. Recently, the state government also came out with a policy of forming a group of young men take the fight to the bandits. You see, the state government launched its own a couple of days ago. What has not been divulged in terms of what the Kebbi state government has done is that 2-3 months ago, we already have more than 400 young men that are going or undergoing training, preparatory to mobilizing them, preparatory to unleashing them on these bloodthirsty bandits that are trying to turn our states into a theater of war. We have already reached a point where if we want tomorrow to mobilize them into the bush, we'll do that. And let me say one thing. While we are at work in the southern part of Kebbi State dealing with the infiltration of bandits from across the states bordering us, we're also not unmindful of the fact that we have pockets of kidnappings in the interland, in Bonza, in Jeddah, in the bushes. We have noticed some activities of bandits. But as I said earlier, we are dealing with them on the fringes in the southern part of the state. They are rushing out, either back into their cells in Niger, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Sokoto, or they try to come into the state and hide. In the course of hiding, they try to earn a living by picking 1 or 2 people into the bush and getting some money. We are taking measures. There are things I wouldn't want to divulge, honestly. Yeah. If I am to, and you see, it is in our interest. It is in our interest as politicians to divulge this information because we can make political capital out of them. But when you look at the consequences that will be there for us, the consequences of compromising our plans, the consequences of divulging our secrets, otherwise, we'll come out to outline what we have done. People will begin to clap for us because they know this is what we should have done long. That should have been done a long time ago, even before the adoption of this country. But then, as I said earlier, I want the people of Kebbi State to trust us, trust the government of Nasser Idris. Yeah, because already we are seeing a reduction in the activities of banditry, and that already we are also seeing that we are going to have a bumper harvest as a result of these commitments and actions by the state government. We have not told you that before when the rainy season was just starting, our governor magnanimously provided fertilizer, 2.3 or 4 billion naira worth of fertilizer free of charge to our farmers in order to aid them to produce the food we eat in the state and the food we eat in the country as well. You know, Kebbi State, as I said, is a potential food basket of Nigeria. We have the arable land, we have the industrious and able-bodied young men that can be used to till the land and provide our staple foods. What are our staple foods in Nigeria? Rice. In Kebbi State, River Niger crisscrossed into Kebbi State by almost 100 kilometers. River Rima crisscrossed into Kebbi State by over 240 kilometers. River Ka, we call it the Gulbin Ka, snaked into Kebbi too by over 230 kilometers. And when you have this kind of rivers, you don't have any reason whatsoever to be hungry. We have no any reason whatsoever for us to be poor, to be wanting to I mean, whatever are the consequences of food insecurity in Kebbi State, if the right leadership is provided, and alhamdulillah, the coming of this governor has proved that the leadership can transform and reorient the mindset of the people. If you go to Borno, if you go to, that is the shores of the Nachar, if you go to Gombe, the Dagenkowa Dam, if you go to Kano where there are farming activities, you see the preponderance of farmers and fishermen are from Kebbi State. In Borno, they have their towns, exclusively their own towns. These are farmers that went there to fish and produce the eatable food. If they can go somewhere and perform, the right leadership, if the right leadership is given here in Kebbi State, I can assure you, Kebbi can feed this country. Rice, wheat, and sugarcane. And that is why you have many rice mills in Kebbi already. More than 7 or 8 of them, including cottage ones. It tells you that we have the capacity to produce rice, and that is why the rice mills are coming. We expect the sugar companies to also come because Kebbi State has the arable land to produce the right quantity of sugarcane for sugar to be produced, for animal feed to be produced. We also have the arable land for wheat cultivation. So I think, by and large, we are set to go. What we missed in the past is, I think, the right leadership. We now have the kind of leadership required. It's only 4 months old. I will ask the people of Kebbi State, people of Nigeria, give our governor time to also assist in suggestions. We also rightly go out of the country and within the country and outside the country to investors in agricultural-based investors come and invest in Kebbi State.
All of this is very cheering news, especially when you look at where we're coming from in terms of how you've been managing, as it were, the challenge of insecurity. And I suppose it's best to, of course, and it's right to concentrate on the positives. But there are challenging statistics. According to the News Agency of Nigeria, its survey said that, and it's a mark of how far we've come, if the News Agency of Nigeria was reporting that between 2019 and 2023, you know that very challenging figure of up to 2,500 persons would have lost their lives. But if you were to put that in perspective for us, surely between 2019 and 2023, has it been tapering, going down? Was it higher at one time and it is going down now? Surely it's not. The figure is not equally divided among those years.
It may not look good. The figures, the numbers may not look good because of where we're coming from. We have new government just 4 months ago across the country. And these governments are taking different measures. In Katsina, you've seen what has happened. I can tell you that most of the states in the Northwest that are battling insurgency and banditry all over are coming up with completely new measures. What I think we will do as a people is to give these measures time. There is no way we can deal with the situation immediately. There is no measure you can take that will completely stop insurgency promptly, just like that. You have to have a plan. You have to give that plan time to work. You have to have the ability to make changes as you move on. The Kebbi State government, I've told you the measures we have taken. Katsina State has taken some certain measures too. And I'm sure the neighboring states of Zamfara, Sokoto, and to some extent Kaduna are also keen into it. And I think it's important that we give these measures time to see how they end up reflecting on our need to have a secure society. In Kebbi State, honestly speaking, as I told you, it's a hit and run thing. They don't have cells as such in Kebbi State. Even if they come in and stay for a day or two, it's temporary planning measure for them. Attack, run away into the neighboring states. Plan, attack, and coming. That has been dealt with completely in the last 2-3 months. They no longer have the capacity to launch attacks as they used to. I'm not saying that they will not hit at all, but what I'm saying is that we're on top of the situation. Mm-hmm. The measures taken by the state governments are working, and that let's give them time As you see, the governors of the northwestern states affected by banditry are coming and putting heads together. They are exchanging notes, exchanging ideas, and they will be able to deal with it decisively. At the end of the day, what we need in the northwestern state is a peaceful atmosphere, a free banditry environment. Because if you look at the hardships people are going through, you combine that with the insurgency taking place, where people cannot go to farm, where people cannot earn a living, a living that will help them become responsible members of the society. That cannot be in any way acceptable. But as I said earlier, let's give our governors time, let's pray for them, let's see how or where this just will take us to.
All right. I'll tell you what, Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed, thank you for being with us. Okay, welcome back. And our guest is Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed. He's the Commissioner for Information and Culture in Kebbi State. And we spent the first half of the program really, looking at sort of achievements in the area, of no matter how incremental, in the area of our security. It's getting better and better. Alhaji, all throughout the first half, before we even go into any other area, I noticed we didn't talk about, and maybe that's because it doesn't exist, cattle herders, farming clashes. Is Kebbi fortunate in that regard, that that's not a really high point in terms of this challenge that we have? It's all about criminals and bandits.
Yeah, it's not as if Kebbi is free totally of it. No, but then there are pockets of it here and there. But we have a system, communal living style, that takes care of that. As soon as there is an element of it, the natural leadership in the affected areas take it over and deal with it there and then. And in most cases, it doesn't even have to end up in courts. We have a system that we live in Kebbi State, where natural traditional leaders have certain responsibilities to make sure that society lives in harmony with each other. We have no doubt about that here and there. But as I said, it is dealt with promptly, and things take everybody takes time.
Okay. So far so good. Matters are pretty much well in hand. Now,
yeah, but what bothers us most is this kidnapping, and I think it's a world phenomenon, a world problem. Just that everybody's trying to find a way to wiggle himself out of it.
Okay. Okay, before we go on, Christopher has called in from Warri. Good morning, Christopher. You had a question for the Commissioner, Yakubu Ahmed?
Akuyori, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, this is Comrade Christopher, Tinubu Shetima for Good Governance, Data State Coordinator.
Okay. Glad to have you.
Now, I want to sincerely thank you and your entire team for bringing in the Honorable from Kebbi State, Honorable Yakubu from Kebbi State.
Thank you.
You see, this is what Nigerians have been clamoring for. When you have people that are intellectuals, people who can identify issues as at when due. It's not because a problem, if a problem you identify, it is when you have solution to that problem. You see, thank God the information Commission of Information in Kebbi, we appreciate the governor because as it is now, when the citizens of that state able to get the information they want at their disposal, security of a thing is all about information. When you have proper information, I think the governor himself will be able to know exactly what to do concerning the security of the nation. For instance, you see now, like the items he itemized, he measures some key areas in the state which they are already identified that give you their challenges. This is what we are looking for. When a governor is able to detect a gentleman like this, then the less it's assured for him to carry out the day-to-day business of the state. That is one thing Nigerians, even the former president we have in this country, they have been passing through. You see a governor or a president sitting down, think that money alone can solve problem. Money alone cannot solve problem. You see, there's some certain issue. When you don't know your citizen, you don't know the occupants of your state, you cannot identify them. You don't know who is coming in, who is going out. You find it difficult to curtail any kind of insecurity in that state. Everywhere you see in Nigeria, you see agents everywhere. agents, they don't even know these people they are bringing to your apartment. They just, because of the money they want, they just bring people in. So I thank the Honorable Commissioner of Information in Kebbi State, Honorable Yakubu. We want to thank you because you start for good governance. That is what we are expecting from you, and we know you are going to deliver in Kebbi State. May God bless you, and bless Kebbi State, and bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Comrade Christopher, for calling in. So,
I want to respond briefly on this. You see, are you with me? Hello?
Hello. Okay, I was going to say.
Are you with me?
I was going to say that that caller, is like kudos to Dr. Nasir Idris and your very good self.
I just want to add something on that. You see, our governor happens to be different because he was born, bred, and battered in Kebbi. All his life, he has never moved out of Kebbi. He has integrated himself in the society because he's one of them. Even before he became the governor, he was at one time national president of the Nigerian Union of Teachers. He was a labor leader, a teacher, he's still a labor leader, a comrade. So even before he became governor, in the neighborhood where he lives, he has a history of helping people out, showing compassion, dealing with their immediate problems. So when he became governor, and that was one of the reasons why he was massively elected into office. He came into office on the crest of his personal performance and commitment to the welfare of the people of Kebbi State, even before he became governor. So he's on familiar turf. He has always been he has always been around because he has been part of the parcel of the people of Kebbi State. So, and one of the reasons why when a governor like him becomes governor, when a person like him becomes governor, he automatically gets integrated in the society, and he will continue now with more powers and more responsibilities and more resources at his disposal. He now widening his areas of assistance to people, and that's why he's achieving what he's achieving already.
Indeed. So it was quite fitting that Comrade Christopher was handing Dr. Nasir Idris, governor of Kebbi State, his flowers. And indeed, you're also part of it. You being an information professional as well. Again, Christopher enjoyed that particular aspect of it. Now, as I was saying, I think we can't have you and you being an information. Oh, I beg your pardon. We also have another caller, Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, my brothers. Good morning, Nigeria. Honest congratulations to Kebbi State government and my brother. Now, I want to find out from, you see, Kebbi State at least noted for the best quality rice in this country. When I'm when you talk about Uncle Ben's rice, they have it in Kebbi State. Now, I want to find out, my brother, we are told that if you check statistics, that our governors collected 600 million as security vote. Is it not wise for the governor, the Kebbi State, and other people to make sure that all those rice farmers, those areas prone to rice production, to provide drones, security drones for them, so that they use it to monitor what is happening within that environment? It will help us. So if you look at 600 million, presently now, it's a big money. At least use part of it, at least each month, provide one drone for one of those areas where they have rice production. So we use it as a security network for them. It will help us. I want a situation whereby us, each local government will go tap their natural resources and stop depending on federal government. If the local government will tap their natural resources, I bet you don't need to depend on the federal government. Yeah, the revenue, but with increasing it will. And issue of scholarship and exam fee to students, government should think why at least when you pay for SSC, still pay for the exam fee money. Good morning.
Oh, well, good morning, Mazi Okoroafo. Our friend Mazi Okoroafo, he cannot but include education whenever he contributes. Here you are, you're the Commissioner of Information. Maybe you'll also be able to touch on that because I know you have another colleague whose specialization that is.
Yeah, you see, in the case of Kebbi, as a people, as a state, endowed with all a state society require in order to live above board, God has endowed Kebbi with it. We have the, as I said, the manpower, the youth. We have the arable land. We have the rivers. If Kebbi were to be an independent country, it's going to become a very successful country. I have only one caveat: with the right leadership. With the right leadership, Kebbi can become a fully successful. If we are to be in Asia, it will have been one of the Asian tigers. Because let me tell you, everything required to make a country great are available in Kebbi State. Everything. What has endowed us with the land, with the rivers, with the rainfall, with the people to make a success out of this country. Leadership is very important, very, very bad at all levels, at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. When there is synergy in leadership, strata, the plan, whatever is required for people to use in order to make that particular place great, leadership provides that. So, alhamdulillah, as I said earlier, we have a governor that will key into that. I'm sure he has lieutenants around him, people that has invited to help him. With the Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president, I think we'll reach to that stage. We're just starting, just 4 months old. This government, a government came into office with the nature of problems we have, with the implications of those problems. I think we need more time, maybe a year or two, for them to sit down, deal with this insurgency problem, and then we'll now begin to come up with policies and programs that will set this country on the path of recovery, on the path of growth, on the path of sustainable good living standard for the people.
Okay. Chidi is also on the line from Kafanchan. Good morning to you, Chidi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you, sir, for calling in.
Good morning, the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Kebbi State, for coming to the studio this morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I am impressed in what you have said concerning the security situation in Kebbi State and the efforts the government at hand are doing in order to curtail this insecure situation. Uncle Yori, we have been talking about insecurity. It is almost taking over all over this our great country. And Nigeria is not known to be an insecure country. Therefore, in my own humble submission, I wish to candidly call on the government and every stakeholder, from the local to the state, from the state to the federal government, so that they can work synergically to do that which is necessary and important in order to bring the much needed security. Because security, for one, is security for all. And insecurity for one is also insecurity for all. We cannot grow in a situation where our lives and property are quite insecure. Therefore, I plead with the Tinubu-led administration to lay much more emphasis on providing security to the Nigerian people. Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much, Comrade Chidi, for calling in from Kafanchan. Did you want to comment on anything that he said? Because really, it was kudos again. It was kudos for the clarity of your thought and also for sharing your efforts over there, thereby empowering us with knowledge, which he has now said, it now occurs to him that perhaps a lot more, assistance can come from government and to other states so that we could deal with this problem comprehensively.
I'll still go back to the issue I addressed a moment ago, that there are new governors across the country. We have a new president. I want to believe that the governors in the Northwest, especially, are beginning to take very radical measures, very, very radical. What the governor in the state did is a radical decision. He's mobilizing youth sourced from the areas of attacks. And if they are well organized, if they are given the right training, if they are supported, if measures are taken in order for them not to go out of their mandate, I think this is the way to go. The states in the Northwest, everywhere we have problems in the North, especially and banditry. I think the way to go about dealing with it is the way the people, the governors in the Northwest are doing now already. Involve the people in security issues in your states. And I think if every state, at the end of the day, excluding Kebbi, in Kebbi, we will require young men and women to get involved. But since we are getting it right now, we seem to be getting it right now. The 450 also youth I told you have been mobilized already, that are going training in Kebbi State. It's something I shouldn't have mentioned, but because I want to reassure our people that we are doing something too. Other than that, in Kebbi State, the measures the government has already taken are working. So I think the other states where the problem seems not to be getting solved, it's in Sokoto and Zamfara, perhaps and Kaduna. I think if all the governors, if all the people are involved, all the stakeholders, in fact, if you leave it to me, I would suggest that we have a security summit of Northwest.
Okay.
Security summit.
Okay. All right.
In the Northwest. Security summit where all...
Sorry to interrupt you. I beg your pardon, Mr. Commissioner, but Folorunsho has also called in from Minna in Niger State, and I didn't want to lose him.
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay.
Folorunsho in Minna. Good morning.
Sorry to interrupt you. I beg your pardon, Mr. Commissioner, but Folorunsho has also called in from Minna.
Folorunsho, if you can hear us, please start speaking. Good morning, Folorunsho in Minna.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, how are you?
Thank you very much for calling in.
Please, yeah, I'm interested in your topic.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, I'm interested in this topic because I'm used to. So I can because I'm used to Kebbi State. Then, according to the commissioner, the Kebbi State are very, very okay on rice farming because Kebbi State is a place that is good for rice and agric value chains. And again, Kebbi State, as the commissioner has rightly said, Kebbi State is a place that is secure in terms of security because I'm used to that place during those times. But now, this insurgency has made it to be very somehow. But now, according to the commissioner, the issue of rice planting, I know the Labana rice plant. I know that they have a good rice, and the other rice coming up around the express along the Arugungu side. So for the security now that the state governor has taken steps to attend to, I think is a very welcome idea. And again, it will help us in Nigeria as regarding our food security. So I really appreciate the commissioner and the governor of the state so that this kind of a synergy should be adopted within the state around Kebbi State. Because
Indeed. All right, thank you very much. Folorunsho calling in from Minna there in Niger State. Now, Mr. Commissioner, as the time is fast counting down, I did want to get to the other arm to your title. You're Commissioner for Information and Culture. Give us a little something. What does the culture function entail? There must be something that you want to highlight about the culture of the people.
Yeah, there are things I want to highlight about culture in Kebbi State. Number one, we just returned yesterday from an art exhibition called Arugungu Series 9 Art Exhibition in Lagos, Malikon National Museum. We just returned yesterday. We went with our cultural troops.
The Arugungu, that's a world-famous event, isn't it? It's a world-famous cultural event.
Arugungu Fishing and Cultural Festival. We have 4 specific cultural festivals. We have quite a number of cultural activities in Kebbi State, but 4 stand out. And Arugungu, because of the popularity, because it's happening in the past every year, tend to be known widely by most people. But in Kebbi State, Kebbi is very, very rich in culture. Where you have excellent environment, excellent agricultural activities, you are bound to have excellent cultures. We have Uhola culture in Zulu. It's very, very popular as well. We have regatta, also in the riverine area of Yauri, Emirate. We have the Arugo Fishing Festival, which you know. We also have Otunga cultural activity in the Suru local government area of Gondo Emirate. As you know, we also have very big attitude of horse racing in Kebbi, the capital of Kebbi State, which is under Gondo Emirate. We have a number of agricultural shows. We are rich in culture, and as one thing I wanted to even mention is that we are already talking with the Taiwanese government. They have made offers to us to have cultural exchanges with them, and I'm working on that already. As I said earlier, I will return yesterday from Lagos to attend a cultural show there at exhibition. So by and large, we are going to leverage on the goodwill we generated from that exhibition. We are going to, because, you know, when our governor, Dr. Nasir Farah, was campaigning, lecturing campaign activities around this state, one of the cardinal promises he made to people was he would promote culture. The approval he gave us to go to Lagos to attend that cultural show was part of the fulfillment of that promise he made. And I'm sure we'll still have quite a number of shows to show to Nigerians. We intend to collaborate with others in order to move forward in the field of art and culture.
And of course, this brings in its wake tourism as well. No matter, I mean, we've been talking about very, very serious stuff.
Wherever you promote culture and art, obviously, the next thing is for tourism to blossom. And we intend to leverage on that too.
Well, I just want to thank you now, Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Culture in Kebbi State. In the past almost 1 hour, it's been gripping stuff, as is attested to by the calls that have come in. People, I think, are a bit wiser about goings on in Kebbi from the point of view of advances in security and also the cultural endowment of the country. I want to thank you once more for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure being here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Okay, then. Okay, so that's our program today then. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folari. Bye-bye for now.